Good morning, everybody. In today's call, we're going to talk about the 2 keys of eBay. And the whole point of these calls is just to answer these 2 things. So we'll get straight into the content. The document that I made, I'm going to put in the chat right now so that you guys can check it out. If you don't have access, request access to it. So every day from the call, what I'm going to try and do is get the best ideas from it and put it into this document. But I want everyone to take one idea that they can actually execute each day. And that would be the point of it. So let me get into the 2 things that I want to talk about each call. So the point of reselling, and you guys could write this down, but the whole point of reselling is just 2 numbers. And the first number is how much actual profit do you have at the end of the week? Okay, so this is all the revenue you have minus the cost of the item, minus your shipping, everything. What is actually left in your bank account at the end of the week? That is what you pay taxes on. That's really the only number that matters. People are always asking, oh, how do I make it so people don't think my business is cute and they take me seriously? It's really simple. That number is just really big. No one, like Sarah Blakely is a woman. People take her seriously because her business does a ton of money, $1 billion a year. No one says her business is cute. It's not cute. It's massive, right? So the difference between a hobby and a profession is just the way that you act. If you're an accountant and you go to the office 9 to 5, people treat you like professional. But if you're an accountant and you work in your bedroom in your pajamas, even though you're an accountant, people don't take you as seriously. It's just the way our society is set up. That number at the end of the week is the only number that matters. The profit after expenses. Okay, that's the first part that matters. The second part that matters is how much time do you spend doing this? That's it. These are the 2 numbers, because then you get those 2 numbers and you figure out your hourly. And so here's an example. If you go to the dentist, they don't say, hey, you're going to be here however long it takes us. That's not true. You would never go to the dentist if they didn't tell you how long it took to go to the dentist. That's another thing I think about being a professional. When someone's like, hey, I have there's a clog in my drain, come and fix it. They charge you $175 for an hour to fix your drain. They don't say it's indefinite. So with your reselling, don't say it's indefinite. Have an actual cutoff. You need to do this because if you don't have an actual cutoff, you'll just work all day long like everybody, and you don't actually know your hourly, and you don't know how good you are at being a reseller. So the point of this call is to figure out how much money you want to make at the end of the week and how much time you want to work on it. That's the point of it. And then the meat and potatoes is how do we actually increase our hourly? And I made a list of, I think, all of the different ways to make money or make more money on eBay. And it's in that document. It's very straightforward. I'll go over them right now and then we'll go into everyone doing it. The way to make more money is, the 4 ways are, you have to either sell items faster. Okay, so you can do this by listing every day. You can run sales. You can improve your listings. You can pay for traffic. And that's essentially what you're doing when you cross list. You're paying for traffic. Yeah, I'll post the link again. So you can write this. I recommend writing this down, but I have it logged for everyone in the group. So the way to make more money in less time is you can sell items faster. So that's by adding new items, running sales, improving listings, or paying for traffic. Number 2, you could sell more items with less SKUs. So that means you have more similar items. So you're making less changes when you list items. So that'll make it go faster. If you want to earn money faster, sell in less categories. Okay, number 3, you could have a higher margin. Okay, so that means you either lower your expenses or you sell your items for more money. The last one, and this is going to be what the majority of our call is about, is reducing processing time. Okay, now the ultimate holy grail of reducing processing time is somebody else doing it for you, right? So these processes are sourcing, sorting, grading, photographing, listing, shipping, customer service, your inventory system. If you have less SKUs it actually takes up less space. So if you only sold one thing, you'd only need like a 10 by 10 storage unit because you could fill it from the floor all the way to the ceiling, all the way to each corner because it's all the same thing. But what takes up a lot of space is having a whole bunch of different stuff that you need bins and you need shelves and you need to keep the bins halfway full so you don't have to dump the whole thing out because the one that sold is always the one on the bottom. So the less SKUs, the more money. So these systems, sourcing, sorting, photography, we want to talk about what can we do to make that faster. And each time you do that, you make more money per hour. So I recommend writing down one thing that you want to do each day, because that's a whole bunch of crap. I just told you that there's no way you can execute all of that in one day. You just got to do one at a time. So as an example, maybe you have a workspace for shipping and you get 3-inch tape instead of 2-inch tape. So you just go one swipe across the box and you're done. I remember my friend who worked at a warehouse said that the 3-inch tape on an Amazon box goes all the way around the box. Okay, so it's just one piece of tape. It's a thick piece of tape that goes all the way around the box. That's it. So if you think about shipping a lot of packages, everything matters. So if you think about that, okay, my job is how to do more work in the same amount of time. I think everyone in this group, if you keep your focus on that, you will make more money each hour instead of just working all day long with no purpose. So the last part that we want to work on is your profit loss spreadsheet. You don't have to have one of these. You can do it just based on your bank account. But I'm going to work with a few people in this group, or however many people want to do this, and help people build their own spreadsheet, because then you'll know the exact numbers, what categories to get rid of, what takes a long time. Like I'm selling jeans, right? I would say half my store is jeans, and I'm looking at which sizes do well, what brands do well, what colors, what washes. That's the reason why I'm making a spreadsheet. You don't actually need to do that. If you get your items for free or close to free, or you're a thrifter, you don't really need to do it because the cost of goods is so low. But if you start to buy bulk, start to buy a lot of items, then you need to pay attention, because a couple of dollars here and there and you're not making any money. So number one, how much money are you making at the end of the week after tax? If you want people to take you seriously, that number is just bigger. No one says, oh, Jeff Bezos is just a hobby seller. He's not a hobby seller. He has 100,000 employees that show up to work on a schedule and make money for him. That's the opposite of a hobby seller. So the second part, how much time are you actually spending on reselling? Write this down. I want you guys to actually have a life. And some people say the best eBay store is no eBay store. So you wouldn't work on it at all. It would just run without you. So let's get into it. Let's start, Christine. Christine, good morning. What could you do to make more money per hour or work less hours?
Right now, what I'm looking at is my promoted listings. When I first found out about promoted listings, I just put my whole entire store on promoted listings. And it's like, why did I do that? Because some of the items they sell on their own. So what I've been doing now is I've been looking and I've been listing a lot more. Like I list, it seems like I got my little system going. So the promoted listings, today I'm going to figure out what system I want to use, and and the system would be, when do I put them on promoted listings, and then have identified, markers. When do I want to put something on promoted listings? When do I take something off? When do I put something on that's not moving? That kind of thing. So I want a clear-cut idea of when I do that, so I don't have to go, what do I do? I just want to be able to look at my store and go, okay, yeah, this one, instead of, thinking about each individual item.
That is great. I'm going to update the document on this process. So essentially, this is a promoted listings is a tool to sell things faster. And if you are selling something that already sells fast, or there's not very many of them, you don't need promoted listings. Like Craigslist Hunter does, $50,000 a month with no promoted listings. You don't need it. If there's only 8 of them, people are going to see it no matter what. So I think it's important to think about that before you randomly promote your listings. And also, if you have more than one, that's when promoted listings are the most effective. You
I'm
promote the
rolling my
first
chair
one.
down.
No worries. You promote the first one and then you go in. So how are you going to look at the promoted listings? When you list an item, are you going to decide right there if you want to add it or not?
Yes, in the beginning in the listing, but I have to also be very mindful because the next item that I list, if I'm selling similar, I've got to be very mindful of not putting promoted, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Also,
when I'm
go ahead.
actually listing is when I would do that.
Okay.
I
The
think.
only other thing I would say is, sorry to interrupt, is sometimes people increase the promoted as the item gets older,
Mhm.
right? So that might be a way for you to save money. We want to pay eBay as little money as possible, by the way.
Right.
So everyone listening, as much as we like them, their job is to charge as much as possible.
Hey,
So
Chris,
I love that. Go ahead, Scott.
is it true that when you first list an item, you promoting, if it's more of a one-off type thing, you really shouldn't do whatsoever?
I
That it
don't think you
already
need
gets,
to right in the beginning. It gets
yeah, it
that best match
automatically
boost.
gets the
Yeah.
boost right
Yeah.
away. Yeah.
Hmm.
Is that like 30 days or
It's only one day.
1 day only? Okay.
That's why listing every day works. Even though eBay says it doesn't work, eBay's like, no, you don't need to list every day. But your best match boost only lasts for a day. So after that, they want you to pay for promoted listings to boost it. Right. And congratulations on hitting 2,000 items yesterday, Scott. It's nice.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yeah, keep going.
I know. Now I got to keep reloading. I
I
dropped
know.
down quite a bit last night. It was a good day though.
Also, one more thought for this. Every time you guys make an improvement, you're not going to notice because it's a tiny thing, but over time it gets it's like harder to make an improvement over time. This gets easier over time. It's more painful in the beginning, but as you make these adjustments and you start to streamline, I think the best analogy for tech and sports is that he's an ultra lister, because like an ultra marathoner, those guys are running 2 marathons in a row, but most people have trouble walking around the block. That's exactly what he is like, because he's listing 250 items every day, right? That's like the equivalent of 2 marathons. That's a lot, right? And but he's seasoned. He's done it 4 o'clock. It's not like he's destroying himself. He's literally works from like 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and calls it a day. So I think that time constraint's really important. He said he never missed a baseball game with his kid. That's amazing, right? To be able to control your time like that, like we're on fire and the business is going and I can take off time whenever I want. That's the dream. But you have to be kind of strict with your schedule to do that. Um, Also, he has a lot of jobs that are time based. Like he has like a tree or landscaping company. Those are all based on scheduling. Show up at 9. People want to know how long you're there. So I think that kind of mentality is why people who are the best resellers usually come from a job. They switch from being a job into reselling and they already have that time management, or their parents. Parents are way better at time management than kids. Not kids, non-parents. And one last thought, and I'll shut up. I was listening to Jerry Seinfeld yesterday, and he said that um, success is the worst thing that can happen to you because then you stop pushing. So Tim Ferriss is asking him like, so how did you fix that? Because you're insanely successful. How have you been productive for 40 years? And he's like, well, I got married was the key because there's always problems to fix, always things to work on, always things to improve. And then I had kids. So now I have an endless thing of things to fix and improve, and it's never done. So if you get married and have kids, then you're never going to have success because your kids are going to be like, what have you done for me lately? Right? They don't have it resets every day. So I like that that thinking of keep pushing. So let's go with Lloyd. Lloyd, good morning. Oh, sorry, Christine, go ahead.
Yeah, I just got one more question.
Mhm.
You talk a little bit about how much should we be promoting a listing? Is there like a
Yeah,
thought process? Because I have no idea really.
that's a great question. So okay, the best answer is as little as possible, right?
Right.
So I would say start with 1%. Because that's the most important part of promoted listings, in my opinion, is not just the search rank, but it will recommend to buyers in the middle of the listing, hey, people who bought this might be interested in this. To me, that's the more valuable part of promoted listings. Because if you have an old listing that sucks, eBay is probably not going to give you good search ranking anyway, even if you pay for it,
Oh,
because they don't want to give the customer something they don't want to buy.
right.
So if they keep showing it, even though you're paying for it, it's hurting everyone. They don't get paid because your item doesn't sell. The customer is annoyed because they're getting something they don't want to buy. But it might recommend it in the middle of the listing, or when somebody's shopping your store, it'll say similar items from this seller during the scrolling. So I would start at 1% and go up. And I've seen people do as high as trending plus 30%. So like for Jared, he's trying to create one of these multi-listing CD things. He might do 100% promoted listings for a week and lose money on every single item, but now he ranks number 1. He might turn promoted listings off. So what promoted listings rate should you use? The lowest possible, and then start, and then keep raising it until it actually converts at the speed you want. So your sell-through rate is going to depend on your ASP. So we were talking about earlier, one of the ways to make more profit is to charge more. So it works. Some people raise their promoted listings 1%, and at the same time, they increase the price of their item 1%. Because they're like, I'll give eBay their ransom money, but I'm just going to charge the customer more, which that's okay, but it's kind of like it's a bad experience for the customer. So that's an idea. So Thrift and Flip in the chat on YouTube is asking, how many item variations does the guy that does 250 a day do? So he does every single required one. I have now been doing every single required one plus fabric, because I feel like in the future, fabric will be something that eBay requires. But I don't think that theme or vintage, I don't think they'll ever require that. But they might in the future require fabric. So if you don't remember item specifics, this is another good question. How many item specifics should you enter in? Ideally, every single one, but it depends on how much time you have. So I would say instead of cross-listing when your store is small, fill out all the item specifics, because eBay is bigger. eBay is 250 times larger than Poshmark. I think eBay does what Poshmark does in a year and one day. So when you're cross-listing, just think about how much traffic is on eBay, how much more competitive it is, and this is the best part, how lazy all your competition is. They're not entering in all the item specifics. So you could crush people by just having a better listing. So Christine, something that you could add is in your process, maybe when you list an item, the first day you don't do promoted, or the first month. I've also heard one more store. This is another idea. Somebody emailed me saying they're going to decrease the price on their item $1 every 2 weeks and not do any promoted listings. So they're like, that way my whole store is the same. Every 2 weeks it goes down $1. Every week it goes down $1, and then it naturally will just go away. And you see that at regular retail stores. Like I said, I bought a brand new pair of Banana Republic pants for $3 because it was 3.5 years old at the store. It got discounted from $98 to $3 over the course of so many years. So that would be one way to make sure your items sell. Eventually they would be $1 plus shipping, and that would be good. It would trigger the algorithm and let eBay know that you are serious about selling your items. So yeah, item specifics and also promoted listings. Those are two tools that you can use to sell your items faster. But the best thing is the item itself. If you're selling a PlayStation 5 right now, the hottest thing on eBay, it could be in the trunk of your car, really dark, can't see anything, no description. And you just have two pictures. One picture of it is in your trunk. The other picture of it is the receipt that you got from Walmart. It will sell instantly with no promoted listings. No one cares. They're going to buy it right away. If you're selling a Merona top, right, size triple XL, which might actually sell because of the size, you better have great pictures, free shipping, free returns, and be cheap and do promoted listings because nobody wants that. So when you see the people selling generic, they do all the tricks in the book. That's the best way to learn eBay. Yeah, for those of you listening right now, online too, the best way to learn how to sell something is learn how to sell something with no brand. Think about how hard that is. No, so Hakeem in the group, he sells African art. It's really cool. And it's all keyword based. So he has a huge advantage over the people in the group who've never done that before. Because you have to figure out what region is it from? What are the colors on the item? What age is it? All of those things matter because there's no brand. So maybe we can talk to Hakeem. Hakeem, what are you working on in your business first? There's a lot of stuff to do though. Or you're on mute. There you are.
Yeah. So
Good morning.
clarity. Good morning. Clarity really is just breaking it down, doing 5 listings. I'm going to time myself to see how long it takes for the process, and then once I get that, and just doing 5 a day is going to really, that approach I think is really going to simplify things for me instead of trying to do 10 or 20 a day.
And Hakeem is in a more expensive category. So some of his items are $300 to $500, kind of like the Dawn model where it's all expensive vintage electronics. And Hakeem has a connection with supply. So it makes sense in this group for people to partner. If you have trouble getting supply, maybe team up with Hakeem, reach out to him and say like, hey, I understand eBay in and out, but I don't have the product. Right. So it's almost like I'm doing consulting right now. It's way easier when somebody has a product. They're like, oh, I want to sell jeans. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, let's just optimize that. Or I want to sell pots. Christine, if you said, I want to only sell pots, we could make your business perfect in like a month because we would, if you did 5 pots a day after a month, we would have listed 150 pots and we would know exactly what we want to do. We would even put like, maybe the fanciest way to do it is on a scale of 1 to 10, how nonstick is this pan? We have an amazing test that we do with every single one of our pots to make sure this is the right thing for you. Plus, here's our cooking channel so you can actually use it right. If you only sold in one category, you could do all these cool things. Hakeem he sells on Etsy too. And I noticed with your items, you even have videos on some of them.
Yeah, I did videos.
That's amazing.
I read it was like 86% of people are now shopping from videos. So in my niche, nobody's really doing videos. So, it really gives you a visual of the item.
Yeah. And you also mentioned that in that art category, a lot of galleries are shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
So that means more people are going to be shopping online, but the online experience is way crappier than in person.
Yes. Yeah, it is. So just, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, I think just being customer service and reaching out to, to questions daily, is going to help with that process.
Let's see. Yeah, 5 a day is great. And Hakeem is one of the people that I'm going to work with in helping him build a spreadsheet and a system. And if you guys write down how you do things and you just put it in that area, I just added one for brushing my teeth because it's like I never do it in the same order. And I'm always thinking about, for some reason, my morning routine is different every day, but my evening routine is not. I finally figured out how to do it the same every time. But we're trying to figure out the fastest way to do it in your business. So for Hakeem, I was trying to, this is a good exercise. I wouldn't know how to identify the products that he has because I don't understand the keywords. I don't understand everything else, but everything else of it is actually the same. Taking photographs of an item, making a video. If you had a rotating Lazy Susan and you had a camera on a tripod,
Yeah.
you could make the exact same video for every single item in your store, right? You could have the exact same photos. The only thing that would be tough is the writing a title for an African art piece. But I looked it up last night. There are tons of schools that have a major in African art as their major in a college. Those students are not making money right now because they're in school. They would love to describe these items from home, from the pictures. They would write amazingly detailed descriptions because they actually study that.
Yeah.
And that would give the premium experience, because this is why the most profitable YouTube channel is Ryan's Toys, or whatever, that kid that opens toys, because the Toys R Us experience is gone. There is no more Toys R Us experience. It's gone. You can't go there and open up a toy right from the store. It doesn't exist anymore. So you might want to connect the YouTube channel, Hakeem, as well, and talk about it, drive traffic that way, create a brand. And just like everything, his 5 listings a day is not going to do anything the first month. But month 2 or 3, it's going to be awesome if you just keep that trend.
Yeah, that comes down to 35 a week. You know, you have 140 at the end of the month. So,
yeah,
you know, instead of trying to put 20 up a day and only getting 10 that month, I think this is going to be much better.
And you'd mentioned before on our call that at 300 listings, you started to get some traffic and some traction when you did eBay before. So that means now we have a timeline. We know in 2 months from now, because Hakeem is focusing on other platforms. Now he's back on eBay. We know 2 months from now, he'll have some steady income. Also, one more thing I'm just going to mention. Sorry to put you on the spot this morning. Now this is not Hakeem's only income. So that helps a lot. So you're not like frantically discounting your items to get cash flow or doing funny things. If you can somehow stabilize it and make a little extra money somewhere else, then you can take your time. Cool. So yeah, I love it. 5 items a day. Now I would always ask, when do you want to do your 5 items a day?
I'm gonna do them in the morning. So probably around 10 or 11 o'clock after breakfast.
Okay. So that would be this call. There's a lot of people in Texas on this call.
All right.
I love it. I'm watching the Netflix series Selena, and it's really cool listening to Tahana music.
Yeah.
Let's go with Brian. Brian, good morning. What can you do to either make more money? I'm sorry. What can you do it in less time or improve your profit?
Well, since we've been focused on efficiency lately, I was kind of trying to think, like, what's the bottleneck, because I'm not getting my listings up because I'm running out of time. And I realized I was spending too much time on shipping. So it was kind of stupid now I think about it. Like, I was pulling orders one at a time and packaging them. So now I'm using that batch approach. So I'll pull 10 orders at a time, put them in order, go ahead and package them, and then print out the labels. And it's just saving me time from having to go walk to get inventory, and just those few seconds for each step when it's batched together is saving me a significant amount of time. So I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but it's definitely helping.
Let's go with Ashley and Kevin. What's up? I think you guys are in Florida too.
Hey, what's going on?
What are you guys working on?
This morning.
What are you guys working on? And maybe introduce yourselves as well.
I'm Kevin. This is Ashley. I've been doing eBay for a long time. This is more towards trying to get her to be remotivated. She's kind of lost motivation the last week or so, getting frustrated. We're just a little, I'd say we're organized. We put everything in bids. We kind of know where they are, but we're at the point where we need to be more organization, quicker listing, quicker pictures, just almost quicker all the way around. Because I want to, we used to be at 5 a day. I think Chris, back when we started talking towards the start of the year, we were doing 5 a day. But we bumped it up to 12, to 10 to 12. We want to try to be 15 to 30 a day. I work full time, but I have the luxury of working from home, and I kind of work leisurely. I kind of been able to work leisurely. So I've been lucky to have a few extra hours. So I'm going to start helping her out with packing stuff. And just going to start listing more stuff, and then also cross listing. I just got List Perfectly. So we're going to start doing some more cross listing on other platforms. Because I feel like I'm failing there, because a lot of my stuff is vintage vintage clothing and stuff like that would be pretty good on Depop and Grailed. So we've been selling a lot on there. So I'm trying to shift more towards cross posting while she does the listing, but we're really trying to get up to 15 and 30 items a day.
15 each?
No, 15 total.
Okay.
Right now we're at really, she's putting about 40 hours working, and I'm putting 0 because I work full time, but I have the leisure of drawing back from my regular work, because all I gotta do is answer phone calls and take quotes for insurance.
Mhm.
I'm trying to do, maybe if I helped her out by doing 5 to 8 listings a day, and then did some cross listing while, on my lunch break and stuff like that. Just trying to be more efficient and quicker.
Okay, so I like that. Actually, that's a really good goal. 15 a day is 100 a week, and it's like the sweet spot for a lot of resellers. It would just be time blocking. So when you come to the morning calls, let us know what you're getting frustrated with, what's taking too long, what could be faster, and then all these little adjustments. I would say, in a perfectly optimized store, you could do 15 listings in 1 hour. So ideally, you could get all the listings done, all the shipping done, and then relax the rest of the day. Because that's I think this is important. If you have this idea that you're going to get it done in less and less time, you get all your time back. That's the magic of eBay, because you get to do it at your own schedule. And I know, Kevin, when you were listing, you were doing a couple at lunch, here and there. But now, are you working from home? What's the situation?
Yeah, a couple months ago, actually back in July, we bought a house. So the owner actually gave me a privilege of working from home. So I have one leg up on everybody up from work. But a lot of times when I have my lunch, I try to go out and do maybe an hour a day of woodworking. Like, I'm refinishing furniture now to flip. So I'll work on that, and she'll still be listing, or so every now and then she'll come and help me. I just feel like the other night we made a schedule. I think the night I texted you, because I want her to be more motivated. I want her to be more hands-on and understand this more. Because I remember when we talked at the start of the year, she's done an amazing job at what she does. But I feel like we need to take the next step. Like, if I need to be, because I remember I had a goal. I want to be full-time by the end of the year, take over my $60,000 a year job. That's not going to happen because COVID, of course. But I'm looking towards maybe March now. Like, it's sooner rather than later. I'm feeling the itch. I'm starting to get less motivated at my job, because it's mostly commission, and more motivated on reselling again. I got that urge back in me again. Every now and then I'll lose that urge, but I stay through it. But I'm back to being like, okay, Kevin, in order for me to do this, I need to take this for myself. She already takes it serious enough, but I need to take it more serious myself.
How many items are in your guys' store?
1,300.
Okay, so that number, I think, to get to 6,000 a month with the stuff that you buy, since you already know how to pick, I'd say it's 3,000 items.
Yeah.
If you're 3,000 items and you're a good picker, you'll sell 20% of it. That's 600 items a month.
See, my thing is, though, is because I hope I can have you look at my store. I've been doing this for a long time, but I feel like I may have my prices above everybody else, but I do take best offers that will be like 30, 40% off, because that's exactly where the sweet spot is. Right. So I don't know if I should do more time on not taking best offers and lowering my prices, or keeping the high prices and taking those lower best offers that are going to be right in exactly where they usually sell.
So this is a good conversation to have real quick. It's where you price your items depends on how much work you want to do. If you want a no customer service store, then you price your item at the lowest possible that you can afford the price at, with no best offer, free shipping. No, there's the least amount of customer service, right? Like, if you go to Ross, you can't be like, hey, I'll give you $13. They don't care. There's no way to bargain at Ross, right? But if you go to the flea market, you gotta, like, every single item, you gotta lowball them, because it's like one-on-one type of selling something. And So it depends on how you want to run your store. The bigger you are, that you want to streamline. And I would say if you're priced 30 or 40% above the market, that's too high because some people aren't going to bother making an offer.
Yeah.
You know, I almost want to put in my listings, if you offer below 20% of what we're selling it for, you'll be auto declined. I don't put that, but
Yeah.
I just want on Mercari, you actually can't lowball somebody. It says the buyer is not going to accept your offer. We're not even going to submit it. For something on eBay, they'll allow you to offer $1 on $1,000 item for some reason.
Now, I also have another question for you.
Yeah.
And I want to see what you think of this. Like, you know, I sell mostly clothing, and then I sell
Yep.
antiques and rare items. 1,300 listings. I feel like last year, I don't know if something's up with eBay. I feel like last year we had more action and we had like maybe 400 or 500 listings. Now we have 1,300 listings. We're selling about 110 a month. Whereas we're doing probably about 30, 40 at about 300 listings or 400 listings. Like, I don't know if that sounds right or not. That's why
I bet it's pricing because now it's so much more competitive. I feel like it's if your business is slower this time of year versus last, my business is up 100%.
Yeah.
But I am also priced lower. I would say I'm priced maybe 10% above market. So when I don't have best offer, it's below market. So it depends on the speed. And yeah, I get all it is. Okay, this is great. This is a great example. If you want to sell your items faster, there's only 5 ways to do it. You can lower the price, you can increase promoted listings, you can make the listing better. There's only a few things that you could do. So for you guys, you got to find your sweet spot.
Yeah.
With 1,300 items, how many items do you want to sell? If you're at, you guys sound like you're at maybe 10% sell through.
just about,
If you want to double that, you'd want to. There's only a couple ways to do it. Either to lower your prices or free shipping makes people think it's cheaper, kind of sometimes. But I wouldn't do free shipping and best offer.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just depends. But I like this because you know your numbers. Now all we have to do is say, okay, you guys, in a month from now, let's say we don't increase the listings. We're going to stay at 1,300. Next month, we need 260 sales instead of 130. How do we do
Yeah.
it?
You got to list.
But I think you need to be at 3,000 listings before you can quit your day job and you guys can do this together.
Yeah, it sounds about right. But we're getting there. And like I said, that's why I want to bump it up to 15, 20, maybe a little more than that a day, because I feel like, and also I have another thing. So she does it Monday through Friday, and every now and then she'll do one day on the weekend. Do you feel like we're missing out on the sales on the weekend by not listing on the weekend?
Yeah.
That's what
I think in the one-off game, you would at least schedule it.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would not work every day and I would pay $1.50 for 15 listings, 10 cents per listing to go on Saturday. Or you could just draft 15 and then just launch them, spend 5 minutes in the morning to launch them.
Okay.
But it also gives you like this warm blanket of love when you have drafts ready to go on the weekend. You just feel good about yourself, like, oh, I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah.
But that steady flow is good.
Perfect.
Also, one more thing. Actually, let's talk to Ashley. Ashley, what do you think? What could you do that would improve your flow and keep you? What would make you more happy in your store?
I mean, my biggest thing is just the listings themselves. Like we sell so many different kinds of items that each listing takes me a different amount of time, and that's frustrating to me. Like clothes will take me maybe 20, 30 minutes a listing, whereas China, I listed 15 within 2 hours yesterday. So that's just the most frustrating part to me is the actual item.
Okay, this is awesome. So is it the research part? Is it the photography? Is it all of it? Which part of it is slow?
Like for clothing, the item specifics. There's so many item specifics to put on the listing, and that's the most aggravating part.
Okay. Yeah, what I would do is, can you guys batch a whole bunch of similar items, or are you literally doing something different every
No, I usually do list similar. I'll go
Okay.
find, like, if it's a sweater, I'll list similar to one that we already have in our store. Or if it's a blazer, I'll list similar to the brand or the pattern or whatever, whatnot. But even still, it just sometimes eBay will kick in extra item specifics for whatever reason.
Let me see here. This is a good conversation because I would say flow is what makes people frustrated. You mentioned that different items take you different amounts of time.
Yeah.
I think that now almost every item takes the same amount of time for me, even if it's a bicycle. The actual listing part takes the same amount of time. The part that takes a long time is the researching the item. So
Right.
when you're doing the item specifics, is it the site? Are you looking up all the item specifics with the item in front of you?
Basically, like I literally won't leave anything blank. If something doesn't apply, I'll put NA.
Okay.
So I literally will try to put something for every item specific because I don't know if that's been helping with the algorithm or whatnot.
Okay. So I'm just going to do this as an example. All right. Let's see how long this takes. Okay. So I'm going to list an item. Well, at least the item specifics part, see how long it takes. So I have the link saved to open up a new eBay listing. So I write the title beforehand because for me, it's faster to write all the titles all in a row for all the items. So this is a women's, oh, I'm sorry, men's. So I'm going to pick the category on this page. So it's going to pull up the listing. This part takes about 22 seconds for it to load. So I have the lady that's writing the titles for me talk about the weight. So this is a lightweight jacket, but I have the description saved. So I would put I have the measurements in a different place, but colors are vibrant. This is a lightweight jacket. So here, let's see, pricing should probably be, I do a fake sale. So I'd probably do 32.04. This after my discount is 24.99. So I'm going to accept best offers on this, but to save time, I'm going to decline less than 15 on this. So this is me building the listing. I'm going to come up. Normally I have the pictures on the right side of my screen to add in. And so if I go back to my spreadsheet, this is the location. So my custom SKU. So this is where it lives. It's 131. 401 is the bin that it's in. And then 131 this is on the item so I can find it later. If I paste the title in, it's going to guess a lot of the item specifics. So if I scroll down here and add the pictures, pre-owned, my description is going to be, it's going to be this. So when I put this in here, that way they can see the measurements without clicking into the item. So this is saved here. I'm coming down. So it's Adidas. This is black, reflective. So let's see how long this takes to fill it out. Regular. I think it's large. Oh, small. Small. Men's, nylon. I guess I could do running and jogging. Running and jogging, fabric type. I think this is nylon. Oh, the type. I don't know what type it is. I'm going to leave that. Oh, actually, you were saying you put NA? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Insulation material, NA. Closure is a zipper. Vintage, no. So do you enter anything else, Ashley?
If you scroll down a little bit, sometimes it'll say show more or yes,
Oh,
show
here we go.
additional options.
Yeah,
Can you
like
fill
there'll
these
be
out?
seasons, themes, model. Model will put like the company name, and then the same thing for there's another one that's kind of like model. We'll
But
put the
then-
same thing, the company name.
Another thing I'll do, like if under theme, like if it has more than one
Okay.
theme, sometimes I'll add, more than one option. So I don't know
Okay.
if that's a waste of time or if that's helpful for searches. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see. This is long. Oh, yeah, it's not long. It's see, I'm gonna put NA. Season, Okay, see, this would
Usually
matter more if it's. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah,
Wow, this is a lot.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
That's why I get so frustrated with clothing
So
items.
I never do these additional, but oh, here we go. Warmth, weight. Oh, actually, that's more for like fill. I don't fill all of these out, and I don't do NA. I just do nothing.
Okay.
You could, but you see, it's already been, okay, this is a good experiment because the first part of us filling out the parts that I fill out, just the required, that only took 3 minutes. But we spent an extra 2 minutes already looking through all that other
Yes.
stuff that eBay recommended, right? So those recommended are not required. So
Okay.
I would say, look at your price points. If it's like expensive, maybe go through and do all that stuff. But like this is an Adidas windbreaker. I don't need to know the theme. It's a cheap item. It's going to sell for 15 to 20, 25 bucks. It doesn't need to be a 90s Hawaiian lightweight 200 fill. That's because, I mean, and also this is a good way to think of it. How do you shop as a buyer? I would type in Adidas jacket small and look through all of them and from the picture decide which one I want.
Right.
You know, so I would definitely not type in zip closure. So
Okay.
it makes me wonder if you actually type in NA, that's not an actual drop down option.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would rank anyway. I would just leave it blank and not type in NA.
I kind of told her because I'm trying to play around with this because I'm always trying to change things up, kind of like how eBay does. If we just do the required where they have that little circle and your circle fills up and
Yep.
then just skip everything else. You know what I mean? If that
I don't
almost
even do that.
Yeah, you still
No.
you don't know.
Just because here's the thing. I can list so many more items that it doesn't matter. In my opinion, because right now, this listing part for me per item, I'm averaging 1 minute.
Okay.
So I can put up 60 in an hour of just the required. Now, if I have to go in and enter in all that other stuff, I would be at 10 an hour. That would destroy I would be working all day. I'd be
Chris.
throwing my phone. Go ahead, Lloyd.
On this same subject, I asked you this a week or two ago about, do I have to fill in all this stuff? And the reason I even asked was because once it's listed, I'll get not an email, but a notice on my listing page, add more items. And there's a spot on there where you can just go, I think it's just down below the main body of filling it in, says, do not send this message to me anymore. You can just click that if that bothers you. So, I've been doing what you said, is basically fill out the basics. And if it needs more on a certain listing, I'll do that.
So one more thought on the category that sells the best on eBay is called everyday value. Everyday value items don't require that many item specifics.
Really?
No, because when you go to Old Navy, are you like, can you show me the manufacturer country?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like it's like but on a Armani piece, people are like, oh, I care about where it's made. I want it to be sustainable. Are there leaves used in it? Because if there's leaves in it, then I'll buy it. If there's not, then I won't. That person might actually care, but there's not. Everyday value. When you go to the dollar store, no one who's looking at where's it made or whatever. It's just the impulse buy.
Yeah.
So
you
though,
think like the lower the price and the item, just do what you can quickly to do that post. The higher price,
definitely just the required. Yeah, and the customer can ask you a question about it. It's not like you're, I would say, I don't know. I'm not having any problem with sell through just doing the required, but more item specifics is better. It's just the I don't know how many people are. So okay, let's do this as an example. Do you let's look at eBay. This is a really good experiment. Okay, so let's type in Adidas men's windbreaker jacket. Okay, small. Actually, let's not even do small. Okay, so there are 6,735 results. Let's click small now. Okay, there's 833 results. So let's say I want, see, look at the item specifics on the left side. So this is where you would want to fill it out. So you can see here, outer shell material. You can see, here we go, 254 people put, 264 people left it blank. Right? So if I decided to click nylon, I'm eliminating 75% of the market. That's why I think exterior material is important. You definitely want to put exterior, but let's look at features. 414. So half the people didn't put in anything. Right? So the problem is if I were to click water resistant, I'm assuming, like, look at this, water resistant and waterproof. Look at the difference there. 44 items and 21 items for full waterproof. How do you even know that these are not filled out incorrectly or correctly? And then performance activity. This is subjective. Like, what is a yoga jacket? Let's look. That's not a yoga jacket.
It's a regular jacket.
You know what I mean? So what is that? So they aren't even correct. So if I'm a buyer and I'm looking for a yoga jacket, do I just give up and now I go to Poshmark because I can't find it? I would just delete this yoga item specific so I can actually look through 833 items to pick one that matches me. Maybe I would go by color. Let's say I want a blue one. Some of them aren't even correct. Like, I don't think this is blue. That's like green and purple.
That one at the bottom left is white and black.
Yeah.
Gray and black.
So, and these are, okay, maybe that's navy blue. But what I'm saying is, I don't know. See, it's already down to 211 results. I don't even, I think I would rather not check the blue and just look through all these jackets and find one that I like. So here I'm looking at these photos. This one right here is definitely in somebody's house. This one, these two to the right, these pictures are kind of blown out because their lights are oversaturated. So what I would do to find the true color is I would click through, like this photo, the close-up photos are going to be closer to what the actual light, the color of the item. So yeah, this person's using a background remover, which is fine. That's why the pictures are actually not bad. But so here's the thing. Let's go back and look at your best offer thing. So I wonder, can you select the people that have best offer? Oh, here we go. Accepts offers. So 428. So let's look through now. Let's sort from low to high. Okay, so there's all these jackets that are super cheap. So if you were priced at, let's say the average sale price is $20. If you were priced at $30, somebody might never get to your jacket because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Right? But think if you were $19.99 plus shipping, there's only a few that you're competing against. Because somebody might go here and say, you know what? I don't want to spend over $20. And now there's only 44. And they may go, oh, I don't want to spend more than $25. So there's 75 jackets. So for me, I definitely don't want to pay over $25 for a thrifted jacket. So I might leave it here and look through and find the coolest one. And you can see here, what are people doing to make it sell faster? Right here, this catches my eye. Free returns, free 4-day shipping.
Yeah.
So, it's surprising how few people offer free returns. So let me check these off real quick.
We definitely always offer free returns only because it helps us if they want to give us a defect or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if there is a, okay, free returns. Wow, look at that. Look how few people offer free returns. Only 62 jackets.
Like 800.
Yeah.
So I love this because you can go through and look at what is selling, but you can see the item specifics is really annoying because are people really going through and eliminating all the options by selecting? the item specifics. It's
And especially new people, I highly doubt they're doing it. They're just doing like Adidas men's black jacket or Adidas men's large jacket, you know.
yeah. The top performing listings on eBay usually have less information. And I think it's because, like we just noticed, there's a lot of listings that are wrong. So all that traffic is not converting. You know, that is interesting. But yeah, I love this conversation. How many item specifics should you put? Let's talk to Matt. Matt, how many item specifics do you put? Because there's a ton for jeans.
I have a template where everything is filled out. Every single one is filled out, and I change them as necessary. So anything that isn't applicable, I just leave as festival or something. You know what I mean? Just a random specific, just to say that it's filled out.
But if they
Maybe
click
I'll
on,
start
Go ahead.
deleting all of those unnecessary ones though, and only focusing on the ones that matter.
Because I feel like if I click on festival and I see your Levi 505s, am I going to be like, what, Matt? These are not festival.
Yeah, but I can't.
So-
I imagine less than one person clicks on festival every week. You know.
It's almost like as a shopper, I would click unspecified so I can look at all of them.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, like, you know, and from my limited experience, it looks like people are clicking the wrong thing anyway.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get through it. Like, please just let me list this item. Yes, sure. It's Aloha theme. I don't know.
I did just look up American Eagle high rise jegging super stretch, which is a really common pair of women's jeans.
Yeah.
And over here on Rise on the left hand side, out of 1,000 active, 900 are not specified.
Wow.
I guess it's because high rise is right there in the title, but still,
Yeah.
I think it's important to put high rise on the item specifics, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Wow. So imagine if you do click it, you're really competing with only a few people.
Yeah. Yeah. If somebody clicks high rise. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've also heard people, this is a totally moronic thing to do, but high rise is more popular right now. So I've heard of jean sellers that put high rise on every single title, and then they just explain it in the description. That's asking for a lot of returns, but you would get more traffic. But I don't know, and then it's not worth that kind of a shortcut.
Out of the first like 25 pairs of jeans, I have 7 or 8. When I clicked high rise on the left hand side,
Yeah.
out of those 25, like 8 of them are mine.
See, you're actually doing it right. And guys, Matt has an awesome sell-through rate. So, and he's not doing any of the tricks or weird things. He's just doing a good listing.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do any of the fluff if you just describe it properly. Let's go with Mark. Mark, good morning. What are you working on? Lovely tree.
Oh, morning, Chris. I'm at work, usual. No, I'm just working on a listing right now. I'm on my 13th one, so 2 more and done for the day.
I love it.
So, what's the topic? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh,
I
no.
wasn't.
What could you do to list faster or make more profit?
List more?
Yeah.
Make more profit. Yeah, still refining things.
Yeah.
I kind of have a flow now, so
Yeah.
that I like. That my templates, the required and recommended,
Yeah.
is pretty much 90% complete on all my templates.
Okay.
And like, for example, like say I have a graphic t-shirt already, this crew neck, short sleeve graphic tee as accent none, or like, and all that's already filled up in my template. And all I gotta change is the cotton blend. And once I put in my title, it pretty much does the color and the size for me.
Yep.
And yeah, so that has gotten very short now. I just don't want to do photography no more, man.
I hear
Honestly.
you. So outsource that.
Yeah. So I gotta figure that out. Oh, and the wife talked to me yesterday, and she said she'll do the cross posting. So now I don't
Okay.
have to deal with that no more.
I love it.
And I told her that would actually help me more because from the time that I'm spending there, I can actually add about 5 more on the listings, which I can hit that 25, like get to that 20
That's great.
instead of going back to 20 instead of the 15.
I love it.
And so she's off this Saturday, and we're gonna go through the training of cross listing, and it's fairly easy, cut and paste crap. So
Okay.
but yeah,
That's a good tip. Okay, so guys, from every call, sorry, this call's going a little bit over. From every call, I want you guys to get like one major nugget that you go and execute. So from Ashley's pain, we've learned that filling out the item specific sucks. So if you do have a listing set up where you have most of it saved or a template, that's going to save you a tremendous amount of time because of that. But go ahead, Mark. Oh, wait, sorry, you're on mute. Mark, we lost you. You're on mute.
there we go.
Go ahead.
Okay, I ran out of templates, so I've used up all 50 templates.
Okay.
And they're still like, because I want a template for each one so I can just breeze through it. So what I'm doing is I went back to my old, like year-old listings, and I made those as templates. Like I just put not for sale template and then the title. And then for whatever item it is, I just put all the crap in there. And then I just put like, on the price, like brand, I just put everything that's required. And so pretty much I'm doing that because I'm gunning for that anchor store.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm missing about 25 listings in that it wouldn't matter. So, and I'll just use as a template and it'll help me with faster listing with other type of clothing item. I just want templates for everything.
Go ahead, Denise.
Mark, how can we do that? How do we go back on old stuff? Sorry, I've got a big sun hitting me. Good morning, by the way.
Morning.
How can we go back into old stuff and make that a template?
For me, from the get-go, I've always had a spreadsheet. So, and plus, I do my SKU number in numerical order, and on a monthly basis, I know exactly what number is what SKU number is the last SKU number for that's been a year.
Okay.
And I have a section on my spreadsheet just like a year old, and pretty much with those I drop the prices $1 a month. I'll drop it $1 a month. Like next month I'll drop $1, and the ones that's like below $10, I just like, okay, I'm just gonna make this a template, so I don't delete it. It's still up. I'm not really sure if there's gonna be anything that's gonna come back to me regarding eBay about that. But when it comes, I just tell them, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know I can't do that. Because when I press the sell similar, everything, including my what is that called? Like to boost the promoted listing is already there set up. I normally do 2%. The weight, first class mail, everything is already set up on it. Like I just delete everything that's from the old posting, and I just put not for sale, draft, and then the title of what the draft is about. And I just put on all for whatever clothing, like let's say, okay, back again to graphic tee, crew neck, short sleeve shirt, then everything that has something to do with that, that's what I'm gonna fill out On the required and the recommended. On the required, on the brand name, I just put none, and then color none, size none, and then I just put regular. So the regular is already there because everything is regular anyway. And neckline, crew neck, short sleeve, like all the accent stuff, character, I just put none, unless it's like, you know, Mickey Mouse, then I'll just put Mickey Mouse later on. And yeah, and on the features, it's always the same. I'm just gonna put crew neck, short sleeve, graphic tee. That's it. I'm not gonna add nothing to it. As long as that, as long as that's already been done, I'm I'm good to go. And like about it takes about a minute to go through the whole thing. So while it's uploading, I'm finishing everything up already.
Very good information. Thank you.
Not sure.
Denise, I also have 50 templates.
Okay.
But Mark, I'm gonna mute you real quick. Yeah, so so I'm gonna go back to Tech and Sports' advice here of if you do your listing perfectly the first time, you can go back and use your own listing as a template. So with 25,000 listings, he has 25,000 templates. He's listed every single item before. So that's why he's listing. I looked at it. He's averaging 42 listings an hour.
Wow.
That's because he has every single thing already listed before. So that's what would cause that kind of insane speed.
So now that for him, then he must be having a lot of the same stock. For me,
Yeah.
sometimes because I'm doing vintage, like I sold something that I sell about 10 times a year, but I have to find it because it's vintage. So how do I keep that? Do I need to probably then kind of work a track and create a template on that, since I know I am going to look for it the next time that we're free to go out again?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I have one that it made, like my sale may go off. How do
Right.
I save that? And because the next time I get one again, it may be a while, but I know I look for these when I find them. I can
see.
find 3 of them sometimes, but then by the next time I go back to look for it, you know, we only get 90 days on it. Do I want to really use a template for that item, or is that not enough?
I would use the out of stock option.
Oh,
So the out of stock option allows you to replenish the quantity.
really? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll show you real quick. It's in your so let me give you an example. Here's my store. See, these items have 0 quantity.
Yes.
So that means I might find them again. So when I find them again, I can just add 1 and then I don't have to list at all.
How
In theory,
cool.
you would have all your listings in here, and then it would be easier. So since he only sells like 20 brands, he has like almost everything. That's why I was saying you can make more money by selling fewer things. If Ashley and Kevin were like, we're only selling jeans now, it would speed it up. If they're like, we're only selling blouses now, it would speed it up. It's that different thing every single time that's making Ashley go crazy. So, but going back, so I don't want to discourage people. 15 a day of random items is fine. I could list a lamp, a painting, a globe, jeans, jacket, but only 15 times a day before I'd want to jump off a cliff. You know, it's okay at a small scale to do it that way.
That's a good question, Chris. See that, is that Zenya? Is that how you say her name? She asked. Are those on your actives?
Yeah, they're live.
So then
So,
you must have the bigger
people
store.
can't buy them. There's no buy button.
Okay.
They're live and they count towards your listings.
Do you get charged for those?
Yeah.
Or no, because they're not live.
You do.
You do?
No, you get charged. Yeah. So, but I have the anchor store. So 10,000 listings are free. So that was, you know, when my originally was 10K on the Bay, that was the idea. You get 10,000 free for 300, but not free, 10,000 listings for $300.
Yeah.
So 3 cents per listing. That would be maximizing your money to just run a 10,000 item store. And the pricing, go ahead.
She had a quick question. It's a lot of topic. When you do the title, like we don't get much returns with it, but I did have a return. A guy was upset. He says, these Ralph Lauren jeans said the tag size said 34 by 30, right? But we always put in the listing the actual inseam and waist size. Do you put the actual inseam and waist size in the title, or do you put the tag size?
We always put, I mean, the general consensus is you always put the tag size.
Okay.
And if it's really different, you just put explain in the title, or please read, or
Okay.
see below, or, you know, or fire emoji. I think people will look at the bottom description. But yeah, it's hard because especially since used jeans change shape.
Yeah.
It's a pain. And people are like, I have owned Express jeans before in the past, and these do not fit like those. It's like,
that's exactly what the guy said. He says, I only buy these type of jeans, and you said there were 34 and they're 32s. And I'm like, well, we put the inseam. He's like, well, that's not what the tag says. I know the tag. And I'm like, there's a picture of the tag that was actually in the listing too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We
No,
still
but
won the
there's-
case. It was just he was trying to demand things from me that he wasn't possible.
Yeah, it's tough. That's the nature of buying clothes online. You
Oh, yeah.
just you're gonna have a couple percent returns, and just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Can I
go
mention
ahead.
one last thing about the item specifics?
Please.
I just looked up something that's really funny. I typed in women's American Eagle jeans used 39,000 results. I went to theme and I put steampunk as one of the themes. Every single listing was mine. It went from 39,000 to 127.
And you have all 127 steampunk.
Yeah, well, I didn't look through every one of them, but yeah, like the first 50 were all mine.
Are they actually steampunk?
I don't know. I don't even know what that means. So I just thought it sounded cool, so I clicked it on the listing template. But
Those
yeah,
jeans are not steampunk for sure.
okay.
But yeah, I can see that that's funny. But that's why they're only you, Matt, because they're not. Wow, that was an enlightening conversation. But yeah, it just comes down to saving time is just selling the same thing. Imagine if you only sold American Eagle women's jeans, super stretch, high rise, and it would be easy, just changing the quantity, you know. Actually, hopefully that's motivating and peaceful. Everyone listening and in this group does the exact same thing as you every day. So that's our thing. But thank you guys for coming. Christine?
Yeah. Ashley, as part of this group, you are going to feel a sense of community, and that actually does help motivate me, is feeling that sense of community. I don't feel so alone. So being part of this group is undoubtedly going to help you.
That was a big thing, because I remember when she came to me, she's like, I'm really starting to get more bored, but missing the human interaction. I know when I used to, Chris knows me from a long time ago. I mean, what they call an OG YouTuber. That's how I felt, and what I did was I started making YouTube videos, and it was a community every single day. I would sit in the back room. We would do these private chats out back where we'd be listing these listing hangouts. That's why I felt like I want her more involved in that. So she says if she has questions or anything, she can ask somebody questions, or they can hop on a live and talk to her, because she is missing that human interaction, because she was, before the COVID hit, was a substitute teacher. So when that hit, I was like, let's see if you can do this full time for me. And that way I don't have to worry about it. And it's really worked out. I'm a micromanager, and she's been the best employee I've ever taught or trained. And that's very hard when it comes to this. And I'm sure Chris knows this. People come and go every day. But she just sticks to it. I've tried training a bunch of people. They just never stuck around for it. It's not a, what is it called?
Also, one more thing. What makes people quit is too many variations. Like if you worked at McDonald's, there's only like 25 things they sell.
Yep.
You never like, how do I make this? It's not like that, because everything already has instructions. But if it's like, I swear, if you list a piece of china followed by a jacket followed by a shelf, you will go crazy. It is so hard to do that. Your brain is like melting because it's okay. Here's why. Creative work, which is what that is, costs a lot more because Ashley has to think about every single item. If she doesn't have to think, it's not as brutal on your brain.
And that's why I'll set aside days, like all week last week was all set for just China, listing China. And then
Yeah.
like this week I think I'm running out, so I'll start listing clothes again. But I'll set aside, I'll only do pants with pants or jackets with jackets, blazers with blazers, because I just can't. My mind doesn't work that way.
No
Jumping from
one's
one to
mind
one.
works that way.
Nobody.
So don't
You're
worry,
right.
it's not natural. Nobody wants to list all random items.
It is confusing. It does take, I'll tell you, because I've done that for years only because of the experience I have. And I know exactly before I even listed how much I want to list it for. But I exactly know what she means, because if you're newer like she is to this, less than a year, you're just like, okay, too much information overload. You know what I mean?
I do. All right, everyone.